Hello, I'm Frida and I will be hosting today's program about aquariums. Aquariums, as you know, are aquatic habitats for fish. In this program, I will be explaining the three different types of habitats: freshwater, saltwater, and lastly bowls. I will also be explaining water treatment and fish and their needs. Please don't mind them. Freshwater aquariums are the most popular kind of aquariums because they are cheaper and easier to take care of.
Part of the simplicity of taking care of a freshwater aquarium is the water chemistry.
Water chemistry is very important when taking care of fish. The levels of certain chemicals present in the water means life or death for the fish. However, that will be covered in greater depth later in the program.
pH is an important aspect when maintaining an aquarium because the presence of hydronium ions could hurt the fish in high enough concentrations. It is the same with hydroxide ions. A safe pH range for most tropical fish is between 5 and 7.5. It is advised to research the fish you're buying first. Then adjust the pH according to the fish's needs with aquarium salts.
Freshwater aquariums don't have a high salt content, or salinity.
The salinity of freshwater aquariums is below 500 parts per million to simulate a lake or river environment, where most tropical fish are found.
These pH and salinity levels are easy for hobbyists to maintain.
And freshwater fish live best in this kind of environment. Saltwater aquariums are almost the same as freshwater aquariums except for a few things. First off, saltwater aquariums have salt in it, and the pH of the water is around 8, or higher, depending on the presence of reefs. For an aquarium without reef system, the pH range is from 7.6 to 8.4. With a reef system, however, the pH needs to be higher to maintain the health of the reef. The range is about 8.0 to 8.4. The second most important difference is the kind of fish in a saltwater aquarium. A different variety of colorful, vibrant fish are available to saltwater aquarists. For example, the clownfish or the Koran angel.
Saltwater tanks are often harder to care for because of the delicacy of the saltwater equilibrium. A larger tank is more ideal for a saltwater aquarium. That is because it is easier for a large volume of water to buffer against acids, while a smaller volume of water is not as effective. Although saltwater aquariums are more work to maintain, saltwater aquarists find it very rewarding to keep a saltwater tank.
Water treatment is essential to the life of a fish. The condition of the water it lives in determines how well the fish will live. As an aquarist, the water has to be treated correctly before a fish can live in it. Here is an example of what straight tap water could do. As you can see, the untreated tap water killed the fish. The concentration of chlorine or chloramines in the tap water is enough to kill real fish. Chlorine and chloramines are added to our drinking water to further sanitize it. But these chemicals are harmful to fish. So water is treated before being added to an aquarium. The water conditioners neutralize the chlorine in water and break the bond between chlorine and ammonia in chloramine. Some conditioners go a few steps ahead and neutralize the ammonia into ammonium that plants use, and other conditioners neutralize heavy metals. The chlorine and metals are neutralized in an oxidation-reduction reaction. The conditioner acts as a reducing and oxidizing agent because the chemicals in the water both oxidize and reduce. We briefly touched on aquarium salts and pH earlier. I'll talk a little bit about aquarium salts. Aquarium salts are salt compounds that are specifically for aquariums. It is used to kill pathogens when fish become sick. Beware that scaleless fish and plants don't tolerate it. Aquarium salt is just straight sodium chloride, so when added to solution it won't change the pH or the mineral content. pH also plays a large factor in water conditioning. Extremely acidic water will damage the fish's skin, eyes, and gills. Extremely basic water can also harm a fish in the same manner extremely acidic water does. Even pH that is just out of range of the normal tolerance can harm the fish over time. These side effects cause increased mucus production and a thickening of the skin near the gill. Even changing the water frequently can change the pH enough to cause the fish stress. Those spikes in pH can cause some chemicals in the water to become more toxic, like ammonia. However, changing the water regularly is good for the overall health of the tank. It removes some of the pollutants in the water. Now that the tank has been emptied about 20%, the clean water was added. Ideally, the water would be treated a few days before, so the chemicals have time to react. Every type of aquarium is different, but each of them has these basic parts. With the exception of the bowl, of course, these parts are: an aquarium tank, a pump, a filter, an aquarium light and/or hood, a fish net or two, fish food, water conditioners, a water testing kit, and of course, fish.
Fish bowls are one of the most common beginner aquarists' aquariums. However, it is not always the best environment for fish. A bowl is often much too small for fish such as goldfish. Goldfish will quickly outgrow the bowl, if they don't first die from bowl-related stress. Therefore this is not a suitable home for a fish such as a goldfish. The surface area of the water is not enough for a suitable amount of oxygen to dissolve into. There has to be enough oxygen in the water to support the fish's life and promote waste decomposition by bacteria. Since there usually isn't a filter or an air pump, waste builds up. Which also means that bacteria builds up and more oxygen is being used than can be replenished. To help reduce waste buildup, water changes can be performed. Water changes should be done only once a week. Because frequent water changes can drastically change the water chemistry, which stresses out the fish, and makes it more susceptible to disease. A fish bowl is inadequate for most fish, except for the betta. With regular maintenance, the betta should live a long time. Live long and prosper, little fish. Thank you for joining us on another episode of It's All Relative. I'm Frida.
And I'm Hank.
And from both of us, good day and good night.